Hello, and welcome to Color Commentary. I'm TJ, your average fan, and I'll be talking to you today about a show, Agatha, All Along, Episode 4. Let's get into it, shall we? Spoilers! Okay, so, unfortunately, let me just start off by saying it appears that Mrs. Davis slash Mrs. Hart has died. So they buried her on the road, but they still needed a Green Witch. And Teen is very upset about Miss Davis dying and the callousness that Agatha is showing about it. So they do a spell, thanks to his spell book that he carries around, and they summon Rio, the Green Witch. She says she is not a Green Witch, she's the Green Witch. And I'm like, oh boy, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, and she had her voice changed and everything when she said it. She didn't seem very useful this episode, so at first I was like, we switched out Miss Davis for her. Not a great switch. But as the episode went on, I started to see, why she was there to really push Agatha because she's clearly her ex-lover. And she believes that she had something to do with her son dying. And Rio claims that Agatha is her scar when they would all sit around the campfire trying to figure out what their scars were. I'm like, they need to push that particular part of the storyline a little faster because it's starting to drag a little bit and it's kind of annoying. What is going on with these two? Why are they so into it with each other? They hugged, almost kissed this episode, but it's like, okay, what is the angst? What did Rio do? I thought Rio was pissed at something Agatha did, but it seemed like it's the other way around. So, I don't know. Maybe they both did something to piss each other off. I need to know. We need to get to the bottom of that. Anyway, this episode, it was the protection witch Alice's turn. And so they go to this house that turned them into 70s rock stars. So all their clothes was disco and rock star theme related from the 70s. Include everything in the house entirely. Turns out that Alice has been running around with a demon on her back all her life. And that her family has been generationally cursed. So she has to face this trauma in order to get past it, and she needs the coven to help her do it. So they have to sing her mother's version of the Ballad of the Witch's Road, which is slightly different with the words, and it turns out to be literally a protection spell. So that's why Alice is still alive all these years later, because her mother made this super famous song that's always being played somewhere at all times on the planet. So she's constantly being protected. But this thing has been kind of ruining her life. So now that they're doing this spell and singing the song, they're all sharing the curse with her because they're a coven. So she has to do protection circles around them to try to save, help them to not feel the pain. They all get scarred by it. So they have to sing the entire song, her mother's version of the song, in order to wipe out this demon, which eventually becomes revealed. It's a winged, ugly creature. Good special effects, practical, and CGI. And they get rid of the demon. So they passed that test. Yay for them. Yay. We've got to go on to the next test, which I don't know. It's probably going to be our divination witch's test, probably, because she studied having these in and out visions of stuff and saying random things that are pretty sure going to be said in the future, but nobody really understands how her powers work. So they are just looking at her like she's crazy and think she's crazy. Like, what's wrong with this lady? She just keeps saying random stuff. But I'm like, she's a divination witch. Y'all should think this through. It's not hard for me to figure it out. Why for y'all, wishes? But anyway, yeah, so I'm thinking that's what's going to happen next with her. Because literally, beyond her and the Green Witch, those, would be the final test besides one for Agatha herself. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be the final episode. Who knows? But yeah, they got out of that house. They moving on, and they got to go on to the next spot. Don't know what's going to happen. Teen got hurt. Jen had to do practical magic with water and the moonlight to save him, and she did, which was kind of cool to see. I was like, okay, you ain't got to wave your hand. Nope, you got to do some regular stuff. Put it in there, say a chant, pour it on him, and he was healed. He had questioning Agatha about what happened to her son, pissed her off, because at first she was concerned about him, but then Rio told her, like, this boy is not your son. You might think he is, but he's not. And that just turned Agatha all the way back bad again. She was starting to soften up, but then she hardened right back up after that. Because I think she really did think that maybe, possibly, he could be her son. Because the sigil that's on him protects him even from the witches, or witch-like people, even the one who put the sigil on her. So even if she did, she wouldn't know she did it. So she was like, maybe, it could possibly be, but Rio was like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't him. And that was the end of that. So I felt kind of bad for her, but I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen to the team because the road don't seem to want him on there. He survived the last test. This one, it almost took him out. So come on, team. You're going to have to step it up. We will see what happens next episode, and I will see you guys then. In the meantime, have a great day.